Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are going to go into Game 5 now of the Losers Bracket Finals here at the 2017 Winter Championships. We've got Ixar taking on Puffin. The winner advances, the loser goes home. I'm joined at the desk by Lord Sturm. Sturm, how you feeling?
I am feeling so excited, esports Doug. This is just going to be a very exciting finale to this set. I do not want to wait any longer. Let's get into it right now. We have Puffin on the top of your screen here playing the Druid. Ixar is going to be on the bottom of your screen. It looks like he's playing a Dragon Priest. Now, what do you think is a dynamic we're going to see in that set?
So the Dragon Priest is really designed to outtempo in this regard the Druid, so that the Druid has to use his turns in order to remove the board and try to gain control. Now, the Druid, on the other hand, is going to be looking to get an early Fandral, which I see in his hand, by the way, or build up his Jades. Now, we look at Puffin. Puffin's going to go ahead and use Innervate and a coin, it looks like, to go ahead and establish early control. That Fandral is already going to be too much for Ixar to handle.
Yeah, this is a huge play by Puffin. He is playing to win here by playing this Fandral Staghelm. He's saying if you don't have a Shadowbird Pain, and as you can see, Ixar doesn't, like, how are you going to deal with this? It looks like the only thing Ixar can do is drop this Fairy Dragon, pray that Puffin can't answer it with any spells or anything. You see the Wrath sits idly in his hand, unable to target the Fairy Dragon. So this is hopefully Ixar's ticket out of here.
Puffin's going to go ahead and see what he can go and grab in order to do something to try to continue to build off this Fandral advantage. Oh my goodness. If there was ever a card he needed, this was it. Ladies and gentlemen, Puffin just had the best start to the game that he possibly could have asked for at the most clutch moment. He's going to bust out the Claw. The Claw is basically going to give him free reign. Ixar's in trouble.
Even if he didn't get that claw, he had the opportunity to innervate out this hired gun. It was a 4-3 taunt. That would have directly challenged the Fairy Dragon regardless and kept your Fandral alive. We have the Nether Setbite Historian dropping here, but those are all very high mana cost cards. Those aren't going to be very useful in dealing with this snowball effect.
No, and here's the issue for Ixar is for the foreseeable future, he isn't going to have an answer for Fandral. He doesn't have the mana, he doesn't have the damage. Then now there's a taunt on the board as well. This doesn't look good.
Yeah, this is like you were saying, this Dragon Priest is supposed to be the one dictating the pace of the game, but instead we have the opposite. This ramp coming out in the clutch for Puffin, letting him develop the early board, and now it's basically almost unanswerable for Ixar at this point.
What does Ixar have to do here? He's got too many high mana cards in his hand. He doesn't have any damage on the board. He can't even deal with the taunt that's on the board, much less the Fandral. What does he have to do?
He has to draw something like a Dragonfire Potion, maybe would help him get back into this game. Some kind of AoE if he has it in his deck. But even then, we see Puffin, he's innovating out this Azure Drake. That's a perfect answer to a potential Dragonfire Potion because it's a dragon. It's immune. It's going to keep him alive. And this Dragon Operative, sure, it's the only play Ixar really has at this point. He's going to drop it, look for some kind of answer. But even then, Druid doesn't have fantastic board clearing tools when you're this far behind. All he can pick up is a Feral Rage.
And the Feral Rage, honestly, Sturm, is really just delaying the inevitable. He's going to get a little bit of armor to try to buy himself some time, but that's the issue. When a Dragon Priest deck gets behind, you're in Barney against a Jade Druid because the Jade Druid only gets better as the game goes on. Now, there is something to point out. The Jade Druid, Puffin is yet to play a Druid.
Right. He hasn't played any kind of Jade cards at this point, and that's I guess that's a ray of hope for Ixar if he can find a way to clear this board. But we see more drawing off of these Raven idols. The Mark of Nature here, that could be Puffin's ticket to lethal if he can he can keep this Fandra out for another turn. Even if it's not lethal, he can give +4/+4 and taunt to Fandral.
Yeah, and a reinforced Fandral there. With the current state of the board, is just asking for trouble now. Ixar's down to 15 health points left. Another draw. Twilight Guardian, not what he needs. It's not the answer. He's gonna play Sylvanas, try to do something to regain control of the board, but
this Sylvanas is it's like a high variance play because you can see here comes big damage from Puffin though, and that taunt would have helped him. But when you're as behind as Ixar is, you need to make a play that you just hope he doesn't have the lethal. But here it comes. Living Roots for 3 damage. Hero Power and Mark of the Wild gonna hit for a bunch of damage, seal up this series, and send Puff into the grand finals.
Ixar is going home, ladies and gentlemen, after that brutal onslaught of damage. When we return, we're going to catch the grand finals. You're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned.